Hello and welcome to AZ in the Circle, Arizona Softball Podcast. We got a great show planned for you today. We have two great commits. They're all multi-sport athletes. We have Payton Westra over there. She goes to Red Mountain High School in Mesa. She plays badminton. She plays basketball. And, of course, she's awesome at softball. And then also we have Torynn Slaughter, who is a dual sport athlete. She's going to go out for track next season, and she kicks butt, we know, in softball. We have they're on the same club team as well right now. It's Arizona Rising, 18U Apple, and they have both also represented Team USA at the U15 level and the U18 level. So we're so excited to have you both on the show. Thank you for making this a great season finale for us.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Oklahoma and Alabama, I think they're on the same teams now, but I think you guys are gonna see each other a lot in the future.
Yes.
Yep.
Definitely.
That's great. And today so happens, Oklahoma is playing in the World Series for they're playing the winner. They're playing Texas.
Yes.
Yep. And so we'll air this show in a few weeks, and we'll see what happens. All right. Okay, so we got 4 questions. We'll keep it quick and to the point. We want to ask you, hey, I want to get right to the point. Is my question is, what are the things that you guys love about softball? I want to get to the heart of the matter. What is it about the game of softball that you guys love the most? 2, you guys joined Arizona Rising 18U Apple back in the fall. How has that been? Tell us about your teammates. You guys have both represented Team USA at different levels. I want to hear about that. U15 at the U18. And then we'll take a sponsor break. Then we'll come back and, it's my favorite part. We'll talk about your recruiting journey, how you ended up at Oklahoma, how you ended up at Alabama, what worked best during the recruiting process. And then the last question is, hey, knowing what you know now, what did you tell that younger self about the college recruiting process? All right, let's go. Start with Westra over there. What is the one thing or things you love most about softball?
I love that it's a team sport, so I get to work hard for my teammates and know that my teammates are also working extremely hard for me. And I just love playing on the field with them, the flow of the game. And you're just always playing for each other, and it's never really always about yourself. It's always about your team, and I think that's amazing.
Is there any instances where you love it, where maybe it's the first inning, or maybe you're going into the last few innings and it's the last round of batters, or do you just love the bottom of the 7th, you're up to bat, or you guys are on defense? Any situation like that you really just flourish in?
I'd say my favorite situations are those close games where it's really a toss-up and it's just about who wants it more. And I think that's where the greatest moments always happen. And those are just the reason why you really play the game. And I think that's my favorite part.
All right. Yeah, I agree with you, Payton. Those moments when everything's on the line and what happens, it's just so thrilling. Sometimes it happens in the first inning and sometimes bottom of the 7th. Okay, Torynn, what is the one thing or things that you love most about softball?
The one thing that I love about softball is the life lessons it's taught me. It's taught me discipline. It's taught me work ethic, how to get over any hardships. I also love the people that I've met throughout my career.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, of course. I've heard many coaches say that along the journey, it's the relationships that you make that last a lifetime, way after you've played your last game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. All right. And then 2, you guys joined Arizona Rising back in the fall when the organization came about. Arizona Rising 18U Apple. And you guys have some very talented, hardworking teammates.
Yes.
You guys are very hardworking, talented teammates. What have you liked best so far about the new team this past fall, Torynn?
I personally love how supportive they are. There's never a dull moment in the dugout, whether it's dancing, singing, cheering. Yeah.
Who's got the best dance moves in the dugout parties?
Probably Maddie or Taylor.
Okay. And where are they going to school?
They're both going to Texas A&M.
Oh, okay. That's great. And then what about some of your other teammates who had you not played with before, and then now they joined this team and you struck up a friendship with them?
The only ones that I've played with were Cody and Alexa and Carson. All the rest of them I've played against. They've been my rivals since 10U.
And that's been kind of fun.
Yeah,
having them on the same team.
Now playing with them. I think it's kind of cool.
Oh, that's good. Okay, and Payton, what about you? What did you like most about joining the team with such a talented team, and tell us about some of your teammates?
I think what I liked most was that when most of us were on Storm, we all had the intentions of just sticking with each other regardless of what the name on our jersey was. And it was just really cool to be able to know that your teammates had your back and that you had theirs no matter what was going to happen. So that was probably the best part about the turnover, because it didn't really matter about the turnover or the coaches or the name. It was really just about us and how we wanted to pursue our journeys together.
That's well said, and that's how it is, even in the business world. When you go from company to company, people don't necessarily do business with such company. They do business with the person. So if you move to another company and you have certain customers, they want to work with you, whether it says Phelps Dodge or whether it says Johnson and Johnson. It doesn't really matter. So yeah, that's good that you're learning this at a young age. It's pretty awesome. Well, okay, you guys are on Arizona Rising 18U Apple. You've also been on Team USA at different times, but you represented the USA across your chest, and that's got to be an awesome feeling.
Yeah.
Torynn, you represented the U15 team that went to Japan a couple years ago. What's some of your best takeaways from that experience?
I think just realizing how lucky I am to have represented America, especially at such a young age, and how much of a privilege it is.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. And then Payton, you're a member of the USA U18 team that's playing in the World Cup. They were going to play in Dallas, and but now they moved it to Oklahoma City's Devon Park, and they're going to play it. It's where they're playing the World Series right now. So you're going to get some, a head start playing in that park before you actually go someday and play in it in college. The tournament is September 27th through October 2nd. So I had a couple questions for you. How was it playing, I think, last August and September when you guys earned a spot in the finals, even though USA had an automatic qualifying berth because you guys were the host company? But either way, you still won the thing, and you still earned it anyway. Even if you wouldn't have had a guaranteed spot, you earned it. So when does Team USA begin to – that's my question. When does Team USA, because you're entering the summer ball season and the tournament's not till September, when does Team USA begin to practice so you guys kind of gel together as you go to the finals?
So normally before we play in our qualifiers or our cup tournaments, we'll get there like a week or two early, and that's whenever we'll start to gel. And that's the plan for it this year. Last year they had us come up in the summer and do a training camp at Devon Park. But this year, since most of the roster has already been a part of a USA team, I think we're just going up early in September to start our training before the tournament.
Yep. I think that's great. And I also think it's smart how America knows the American softball schedule, whether it's high school, whether it's club. And it was great to see after the PGF championship and after the Alliance championship was done last summer, then you guys had your World Cup Group B or Group C. I think it was Group C done. So you had all the best American talent represented there. And the same this time, right? You're doing it after PGF, after the Alliance. So kudos to America for getting it right to make sure we have our best players on hand. All right, we're going to take a quick break, listen to what Brig has to say about Polaris PT. Brig, you've been awesome supporting the show all season long, supporting high school softball, college softball in Arizona, and thank you for all the help you do to get the student athletes back on the field.
At Polaris PT and Wellness, we believe that movement is medicine. We believe that as an athlete, you should be performing at the highest level. And so we deliver performance-driven solutions to get you back out onto the field faster. So give us a call at 480-808-4995 or reach out to us through our website, www.polarisptphx.com, where movement is medicine.
Okay, and now we're back. Thank you, Brig, Polaris PT. And now, really, my my most favorite part of the show is when the student athletes get to tell their recruiting journey. So we're going to start with Payton over there, Oklahoma commit. It was after your sophomore high school season, and you're about to start. You're now a junior. You're leading up to that summer of your September 1st, and you're playing club ball that summer, and then September 1st is right after that. What kind of mindset did you have going into that summer, Payton, and how did that lead into September 1st, and then after September 1st, how did you finally end up at Oklahoma?
So that summer prior was, a lot of people think it's a really crucial point, and it definitely is, but my biggest takeaway was to just play my game and play for my teammates and not worry about that stuff, because that's what summer is for. Summer is to win the big tournaments, to play the best of the best. And I knew that with us playing our hardest and just focusing on the game, it would really help take away some of that noise, because it gets pretty chaotic during that period. So that's what I focused on, was just winning and playing for my teammates.
And really, that's what the coaches want to see anyway. What is she like? It's competitive. They're playing for a championship. What is she focused on? And you were focused on the game in the moment, right? They say to be in the moment, be where your feet are. And that's what you did, and it really helped you.
Yeah, because like you said, coaches aren't just watching how you play. They're watching what you do after a mistake, how you talk to your coaches, your teammates, your parents. It's really the things that they're really watching is how you are off the field, because that's what they're going to have to deal with all the time. That's who you are. And it's okay to be who you are. And it's just, they watch that to know if it's the right fit or if it's not going to be the right fit. And if it's not, then just go to the next. You don't really need to try so hard to be perfect.
Yep. Okay, so then you finished up your PGF run. That where you guys went PGF?
Yes.
And then there's a little lull there. But I think that's probably when you had to prepare for the USA team. Okay, so leading up to the last few weeks before September 1st, did you get some prep with some, hey, anybody teach you or ask you or role play with you on some questions to ask, or if they were going to ask you this, how would you respond? Any of that went on?
Yeah, so our club coach, Coach Apple, he had, obviously they talk with coaches, so he had sent us, they're like little questionnaires, and it asks if you want calls at midnight, if you don't want calls at midnight, and it kind of just asks about how you want to be treated during September 1st, because they can call you at midnight, and they can call you at 1 a.m., they can call you at 2 a.m., they just want to know your boundaries and what you'd prefer. So he gave us that, and that was good. And my parents were a big part in September, the whole lull in between. They would ask me questions all the time. They had me write questions about what I wanted to know from coaches. And then we would just kind of talk like that. But that point in time was also pretty chaotic because we were getting ready to play.
In the Group C of the World Cup.
Yes.
Qualifier.
Yes.
In Dallas.
Mm-hmm. And so also the 2 weeks prior to September 1st, I wasn't with my parents at all because we were training morning, afternoon, night, and then we were also playing. So we really had to get all of that practice in the first 2 weeks right after PGF, because after that point, I was on my own away from home. And so, yeah.
And then I think you said August 31st, when we were talking earlier, you said you actually played Team Canada.
Yes.
And then September 1st at midnight rolled around, but you had to play a game that day.
Yeah, we had to play the Philippines, and our days were long at that point. We would wake up, we would eat breakfast, and then we would have our recovery, and then after our recovery, we would have our pregame meeting. Then we would go to our rooms, we'd get ready, and then we would start our pregame, which is like 4 or 5 hours before the actual game. So our days were packed. There wasn't a lot of time to be texting or calling coaches.
Did you want to peek at your phone and see if you had a text, or how'd that go?
So what happened was we didn't answer, because there's 3 other girls on our team, and we all kind of did the same. we only had each other because we didn't have our parents, we didn't have our teammates. But what was really great actually was having the rest of the team that was committed, that just went through this process a year ago. They were really excited for us, and so we got to actually talk with them about how to go about it, like what to do, what not to do, and they were all really excited for us too. So it was really fun. But we had to, that morning when we all woke up, obviously everybody's looking at their phones and all that, and we kind of kept it to ourselves because we didn't want to
Be a distraction.
Yeah, we didn't really want it to be
You had a mission that day to do.
Yeah. So my parents actually flew in, I think that morning. They had like a red eye. So they came to the hotel. I ate breakfast with them. We went through my phone, and it's all a bunch of like no numbers. And they said, "Here, give me your phone, and we'll go through it." And they went through my phone, and they pictured and named every single coach that was in there. And they really made that process super easy for me. And then I did my recovery, whatever. And when I came back, I had my phone back, and everything was labeled in order, everything, all that. And then we planned, I think we talked about it a little bit, but then I had to turn it off and get ready for the Philippines.
But maybe that was a blessing too, because it helped you start to process it a little at a time, instead of you being overwhelmed right away and on the phone for 5 hours straight. So then after you processed it, when did you finally clear up and say, okay, I got to return some of these calls or return some of these texts?
So I think we got back to the hotel that night super late. I think it was like 10:30 p.m. And I think I made my first call at 11 p.m., which was crazy. I was talking to coaches, and they were like, I don't think I've done a call this late. And I was like, well, if it makes you feel better, like, this is my first call. Like,
Gotcha.
Like, this is really early for me. And it was just really unique. Like, I think I had a call at midnight. So starting September 2nd. It was crazy.
Okay. And then finally, how did you end up talking to Coach Gasso, and how'd that all come about?
So when I was talking with Coach Gasso, it was really a conversation about who I was, and she was trying to get to know me, and I was trying to get to know her too. Like, it's a new, like, going into September 1st before it, an athlete kind of feels restricted on like what they can talk about with coaches because of the rules. And normally when you're around coaches, there's other people around you. So you try and keep it very, like, simple, I guess. But with my call with Coach Gasso, it was definitely the longest call I had. It was probably an hour, and we were just talking about things I like to do, things she likes to do. Like, I think we played a game. Like, it was just like a lighthearted get to know you conversation, and it was really nice to see how in depth, like, she cared about who you were as a person aside from softball.
That's nice. And then that probably led to a few other calls and maybe setting up a visit. And how did that work for you, and how did you like that?
I liked that part because when I was on my phone calls, I would like to ask about the coaches, and it was interesting to see how they would run things, like, in season, how they would be off the field. And that was like my opportunity that I used to kind of get to know certain things about how they were off the field. And it was a pretty smooth process. Obviously, you kind of get a little jittery before phone calls, like, oh my gosh, I'm a little bit nervous. But that's also what kind of makes it fun. And yeah.
Yeah. And then did you actually take a visit to Oklahoma?
Yes, I did.
And yeah, a little bit about that, and how you liked it, or did you meet some of the other players there? How they make you feel?
So Oklahoma, when I went on my visit, it really just, going into the recruiting process, I had certain boxes for my personal goals. And when I went on my visit there, it really just checked all my boxes. I love the staff. I love the players there, the environment, and it was just the right fit.
So did you kind of as it checked all the boxes and you were there as the weekend was progressing, did you feel like, yeah, this is the place for me, or did you think to yourself, I got to see something else, or when did you realize I really want to be here?
So going into it, I'd heard some people get the feeling of if you know, you know, and I definitely did when I was on my visit. But there's other people that go through that and they don't get that if you know, you know feeling, which is totally fine too. And I didn't think I was going to get that feeling, but it just kind of hit me one night and I just knew like that's where I'm meant to be.
And then from when you had that feeling, when did you let Coach Gasso know that, hey?
So I had talked to my parents one night. It was the last night of our trip. And what was not weird, but what was pretty cool was one of my USA teammates, McLean Hudson, was on my visit with me, and Coach Gasso knew that. So she put me and McLean in a hotel room together, and then both of our parents had separate hotel rooms. So every night I would go home, or I'd go back to the hotel room and I'd talk with McLean. And so I wasn't really around my parents that much outside of the visit itself. But one night I went into their room and I was like, hey, like, I really like it here. And I didn't say that I was going to commit on my visit or anything like that, but I'd just given them like the heads up, like this is an amazing place. And then that morning we had really early flights, so we went and ate at like IHOP, I think, at 6 a.m. with all the coaches, and it was us and another family that was there. And so whenever we got in our vans or our cars to go back to the airport, Coach Gasso was our driver. And
that's great that she wanted to be there in that moment in case something happened.
So she was our driver, and it was like a 30-minute drive, and we were just talking about just normal softball, Oklahoma, what are you gonna do in your home? And it just kind of came out. Like I was like, I think I'm just gonna go here. And she was like, what? And I'm in the back seat and she's driving. She's like, what? Are you serious? And I was like, yeah, I don't see myself going anywhere else. And she's like, that's so cool. And
did she slam on the thing and
no, but her wrist was broken at the time. And she goes, she's driving with one hand and she just reaches in the back seat with her cast. And she's like, I'm so happy. I'm going to give you a hug, but give me a fist bump right now. So I gave Coach Gasso a fist bump with her broken wrist. And then once we got to the airport, we gave each other hugs, and it was really cool.
That's awesome. That's great. Yeah. Congratulations all over again.
Thank you.
Yep. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, and then and Torynn, SEC foe here, Alabama, Roll Tide. And there's a big Alabama fan out there. Her name's Lily, and
oh really?
She's always Roll Tide. So, Roll Tide.
It's funny.
She'll know who.
Oh yeah.
All right, so your recruiting journey. You finished your sophomore year. You had your high school season. You guys had a good playoff run, and then you go into that summer before your junior year. Well, how was your approach? Payton told us her approach is I'm just gonna go out there and play, and it'll take care of itself. How about your approach leading up to that summer?
My approach, I wanted to keep it as simple as possible. I just told myself, just do you. I try not to stress too much. I try not to worry. I try not to look behind me in the stands and see who was out there. I think what worked best was just doing me and not worrying about it.
Yeah, that's good. And then, so you're competing throughout the summer, and like any game, right? There's always ups and downs through the season. So you get through, you go to PGF, that's over. Then what did you do in between after your last summer tournament and then that little ramp up before September 1st? Did you go to any camps? Did you practice any questions? How'd that go?
I practiced a lot of questions. My mom and my dad had me write questions that I wanted to ask the coaches. had me think about questions that they would ask me just to prepare and stuff like that. I didn't do too much.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, good practice. You guys do any kind of role playing?
Yes, I made my parents talk to me as if they were coaches and have me answer questions just to
That's smart.
prepare, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so your dad helped you with the role playing. That must have been a lot of fun, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so now it's September 1st, and what were you doing maybe, because it's midnight, right? And I think this night, I think it might have been a Saturday night, so you were probably out and about. Or it might have been a Friday night. Friday
I think I had school.
It was Friday night,
Maybe.
was it? Yeah, I think it was Friday night, because I remember some other girls that got called, but they were on a bus going to play a football game or coming back from a football game. So that night it happens. What happens? You get some phone calls.
Yeah, I was actually at one of my family friends' house when it happened. Just trying to take the pressure off, distract me a little bit. I had a countdown. Every hour, I would check the clock every hour. But once midnight hit, all of them like circled around me and watched me take calls. It was kind of cool.
That's good. And you set up some phone calls off of those initial texts or calls?
Yeah, a few of them asked to call early in the morning, late afternoon, stuff like that.
They just wanted to make sure you knew that you were on their
Yeah.
radar. Okay, that's great. And then at some point, you talked to Alabama. And how was that feeling when you got on the phone with them? And
Alabama called me as soon as I hit 12. I was so shocked. When he said it, like, it was Patrick Murphy, I was like, what? I just wouldn't expect them to call me. I don't know. That was really cool. It wasn't a super long call because he called me right at 12. He knew there was other coaches calling, so we made it short and sweet. We called like, I think 10-ish, and then we called like 2 or 3 different times during the next day on September 2nd.
All right. Then from there, Coach Murphy, did he say, hey, we want to have you out, come visit? And how soon were you there for the next weekend? Or how fast did he get you there?
Well, I wanted to be there as soon as possible. I wanted to go tomorrow. But he was listening at the days, and we were going to do it on a football day. So I did it on, I don't remember which one, but I got to go to the first, like, the SEC opener against Georgia. Yeah.
That was awesome.
That was so fun.
Coach Murphy's like, no, you got to do it right.
Yes.
We got to get you out to SEC.
Fun.
And then he wanted to make sure that it was awesome experience.
Yes. It was amazing.
So is that your first SEC football game you'd ever been to?
No, I went to Ole Miss's before that.
Okay.
That was really fun too. But yeah, that Georgia
Alabama
game was so fun.
Yeah, and then you were down on the field.
Yes.
Did you have some of the? Was it all mostly recruits down there? Or did you meet some of the players?
Yeah, it was all the recruits with me, all of our parents, the coaches. I didn't get to meet any of the players, but like I saw like we were like 5 feet from each other. Okay. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's good. And then Payton was saying how she didn't think she'd get that when you know feeling, but she started to get that you know feeling, right? And you went to your parents' hotel room. At some point, did you start to feel that way too?
As soon as I landed, I was like, yeah. I was like, I kind of knew. I've always wanted to go to an SEC school, go in the South, get out of Arizona. Seeing like the scenery and how pretty it was, I was like, yes.
You were sick and tired of the heat and the dryness, so you wanted the heat and the wetness, and it's all humid. Yeah, no, I'm just kidding.
I don't know how I'm supposed to do with the humidity, especially with my hair.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's good. And then okay, so what happened then? Then you had a great time at the game, and then it's the next day. It's I think it's Sunday morning, and then what's going on? Have you said anything?
Well, actually, as soon as we got home from the football game, we went back to like the campus, and we went into their locker room type. We went out on the softball field. We watched this really cool like edit of like the softball team. It was so cool. Then we had our individual meetings, and I was like, oh my gosh, I hope they like offer me, because I was gonna recruit anyway. So I actually recruited that night. So I didn't wait until the morning. I kind of knew as soon as I got there, so there was really nothing to think about.
Okay, so then at some point he says, yeah, we want you on the team. You're like, okay.
I was like, well, I was kind of confused. I was like, do I commit now? Like to
Yeah.
my parents, and I did.
That's awesome. And what did he say when he realized that you were committing to him?
They were really excited. I got up. They all hugged me. It was really cool.
That's good. And then the flight home must have been, did you feel like, wow, so relieved, so happy?
So relieved. I did not want to go home. I wanted to stay there.
That's
but
good.
yeah.
That's great. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you both for sharing that story, your stories. Okay, and then I wanted to ask you that, off of that, is what do you think worked best during the recruiting process in terms of communicating with coaches before September 1st? You know, how did you know they were interested in you? Did you do something that you communicated with them? I know they really can't talk, but what do you think were some of the best methods you used to get a hold of them, or was it camps, or in general? Payton, I'll start with Payton.
So I'd say the biggest help for communication prior to September 1st was definitely Coach Apple for me. He really just talks to everybody, and that's what he loves doing. And that's why he's such a great coach, is he advocates for everybody, and it really takes a lot of the pressure off the players. And that was definitely my biggest help for the part prior to September 1st with communication. But camps are really great, not only because you can go to a school that you obviously are interested in, but there's other coaches at those schools that aren't a part of that program that will see you, or they can go talk to others. And
if you go to a camp, let's say there's 4 or 5 schools there that are running the camp.
So normally when you go to a camp, it'll be obviously the staff of the school that you're at. So say I picked Alabama, it would be the Alabama staff, but they also have other staff. And normally it's like friends of theirs that are a part of college softball that can go work at San Diego State, UCLA. Like it can, the extra people there, you don't know who they are, but they're normally a part of another program. So you're advocating yourself to those two, and everybody has friends, so they all talk.
Okay. So Coach Apple, and then attending camps.
Yeah.
For Payton now, Torynn, what do you think were some of the ways that you were able to be exposed to great coaches or communicate better with them? And how did you know it was going good for you?
I think always playing the best of the best, being on the best teams with great coaches, going to the best tournaments. I think that really helped with like recognition and exposure. I think also I went to a lot of on deck camps, which I think really helped.
It's Coach Alistair.
Yeah.
He does I think it's Alistair Index.
Mm-hmm.
Where there's usually a lot of coaches there too.
There's a lot of coaches there sitting and watching. I think that really helped.
Okay.
Too.
That's awesome. Well, thank you both for sharing the stories, and I hope our listeners picked up some good golden nuggets from that. All right, and then our last question. Knowing what you know now, we'll start with Torynn. What would you tell your younger Torynn, right? I know you got a little younger sister.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not telling her, you're just telling your younger Torynn. Okay. What would you tell her about the college softball recruiting process?
I would tell her that it'll all work out. I'll be okay. Ever since I was younger, I was always stressing about not being good enough, not being great enough to get recruited. Looking back, there's no reason for that. So yeah, I just tell her that it'll all work out.
That's good. That's awesome. And then your younger sister. Now that we brought her up, what team is she on?
She is on the Younger Rising team.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is she excited about this summer?
She is excited. She's excited to go to Utah. She's going to California. She's really excited. Yeah.
Well, what's her first name?
Taya.
Taya. Good luck this summer. Okay. And then Payton over there. Knowing what you know now, what would you tell your younger self about the college softball recruiting process?
I would tell my younger self to just focus on the game, keep playing the game, work hard, and because that's what it's all about, is the game. So I would just keep working hard and don't worry about it. Like, it'll happen in the background. Just focus on the game, play to win, playing for your teammates.
That's awesome. Well, thank you, Payton. Thank you, Torynn. It's pretty awesome. I hope you guys all enjoyed our season 2, and then we'll be back in the fall with some more, hopefully some great success stories and some stories about the summer. And then you guys will have another fall ball. So, so maybe we'll have you guys back either next season or when you guys go to your school, in 2026. Maybe when you come back from fall break and see how it's happened, how it's going. So thank you guys all for watching this whole season. We got all our episodes up on our AZ in the Circle YouTube channel. Please, if you like what you saw, please like and subscribe. We're on X, we're on Instagram, I think we're on TikTok too, and then obviously YouTube. So thank you. You guys all have a great summer. Best of luck to everybody. I'm Javier with AZ in the Circle.